Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute since I've sat down and done a talky video, but yeah, here I am. If you're new to my channel, then subscribe and hello. So yeah, this is the long-awaited video that I have had so many requests to do, and it's how I got into presenting. I also wanted to do this for myself as well because when I wanted to do presenting, I never got the chance to do it. When I wanted to start presenting, I never found any videos that helped me. I also reached out to a lot of presenters. They ignored me, they aired me, and yeah, or they would just, yeah. So I didn't have any help, and so I feel like this will help at least start some people's careers, I guess. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you how I started presenting and I got to interview all of the stars, okay? Going all the way back, we'll probably go sixth form, which was 2016 to 17. Before that, I had a YouTube channel, so if you've subscribed for me from the start, I've had this YouTube channel for about 5 years, I would say 4 or 5 years, something like that. So I've had this YouTube channel for a while, and obviously I talk and whatnot and whatever. So in sixth form, I decided that I wanted to go to university and I wanted to study multimedia journalism and also marketing, because I didn't know if I wanted to do journalism, and I didn't know if I wanted to do like social media marketing, you know, PR, that kind of stuff. So I looked. Basically, the only two options was Northampton and what was the other option? Northampton and Newcastle. And obviously, I'm not trying to go to Newcastle, so I signed up for Northampton University for multimedia journalism with marketing management, and I got an unconditional offer. Whoop de whoop. And so yeah, so this was just like at the start of second year of my sixth form course. I went onto Twitter and I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw an advert that said, we're looking for writers. If you would like to write for us, then send us a message. So this company was called Culture for Us by Us. They just started out, and the person in charge, her name was Stephanie. She's now my boo. She's now my babe, Stephanie. Hey girl, shout out to you, girl. So I messaged Steph and I was like, hi, I'm gonna be studying journalism. Can I be a writer? And she was like, yes. So got in a group chat with a bunch of other writers, and I was writing for them. And I actually do have a video of when I actually announced that I was gonna be writing for Culture for Us by Us. I'll put the picture here. And so yeah, I started writing for them. Shortly after that, I was like, let me try, you know, presenting. So I was thinking, okay, I need to find a niche, because I'm not finna message Capital Extra, you know, BBC One Extra, Kiss FM, do you know what I mean? I'm not finna message them talking about, can I come on your show? So I was like, I need to find a small niche that I can get into that will accept me. And obviously I'm Ghanaian. I couldn't think of anything at the time, but I was like, I'm Ghanaian. Let me look for some Ghanaian events, do you know what I mean? So if you're looking for a niche, I would suggest, if you like music, if you like, I don't know, fashion, if you're from a certain country, you know, just find something that you can start presenting in, because it can be difficult to find where you can start. So the first thing I would suggest is finding a niche. So my niche was that I'm Ghanaian. So the first thing that I did was I went on hashtags on Twitter, and I was like, Ghana events, hashtag Ghana awards, hashtag Ghana, yeah. And the first thing that popped up was Team Ghana. It was called Team Ghana UK, and they had a picture that was like coming soon and whatever. So I messaged them and said to them, hi, my name's Josephine, can I come to your event and help out backstage and kind of just see how events are run? Because I didn't think that they would let me, you know, present anything. So I just went there so I could at least get my foot in the door. That's all I wanted to do, just get my foot in the door, see who I could meet, find the host, talk to the host, you know what I mean? So yeah, they said yes to that. Later on, maybe a month or two later, April, they said to me, oh, we've seen you have a YouTube channel, would you like to host the red carpet? I was like, yes, would love to do that. And I started doing I hosted the red carpet for Team Ghana UK in 2017 in October, and that was my first ever presenting gig. Here's the picture. If you follow me on Instagram, if you've been following me for a while, then you would have seen that. But yeah, I also did the second edition this year, but yeah, that's not quick. So yeah, here's the picture of me doing that. So yeah, after that, I was like, okay, the Africans are taking me, because I realized after that event that the people in the African community that are hosting are quite old. They weren't very young. And so that was my first thing, finding events. So I went onto Eventbrite and I went onto Shoops. I think I mentioned this in my previous How I Get Press Passes video. So I went onto Eventbrite and I went onto Shoops and I typed in African awards, African show, pageants, you know, all of that stuff. Just anything that I could present just to like practice and stuff, you know, because I've never done anything like that. So yeah, I did that, and I hosted Mr. and Miss Congo here. I hosted African Pride Awards, red carpet here. I did Miss Tourism Ghana UK here. I did Teen Africa here. I did lots and lots of African events just to get content, you know. So I did that, and I was like, you know what, let me try something different. So sticking to my niche, there's a really popular radio station in the Ghana community, and it's called ABN. This station is really, really popular. Like, if you go to any Ghanaian auntie and say ABN, they finna know what ABN is. They'll finna reel the channel out to you. So I found ABN's Instagram page, and I was looking through the page just to see what shows they had. And I found the show that I felt like would be good enough for me, which is, I can't remember what the show was called, but the person in charge of that show is Afia Adom. So I clicked on Afia's Instagram and I messaged her and I said, can I come on your show just to work shadow you? She said that was fine, and I met Afia there, and I went to the show, and they put me live on air on the first time I got there. So that was really amazing how they let me come on the show. I got to see how, you know, mix things, how radio stations work, just so I can see how radio stations work. And then after that, I went there a couple weeks. Like, I went there every Wednesday for a couple weeks just to, you know, get things, just to understand things. And I met some amazing people there. I met George, I met Afia, I met Sharon, who I'm really good friends with now. So yeah, so that was my radio story. After I've looked at radio and after I've looked at awards and pageants and that kind of stuff, I wanted to kind of have a look at how fashion works. And I wanted to see if there was kind of like any hosting stuff that happens in the fashion industry. When I said to you that I hosted Teen Africa, when I hosted Teen Africa, there was a guy there, a gentleman there called Jefferson. So shout out to you, Jefferson, whatever. So I met Jefferson, and he is the managing director of a how would I describe it? Of a platform called La Marche Fashion, and it's a platform that focuses on the BAME community. So I got Jefferson's details, and we were speaking for a bit, and then obviously it's now we're now in 2018 January. Yeah, we're now in January 2018. So February Fashion Week was coming up, and he messaged me after we hadn't spoke for a while, and he sent me to Fashion Week. Here's my first ever Fashion Week. I also attended Men's Fashion Week. I also attended Graduate Fashion Week. What else? I don't think I have pictures of Graduate Fashion Week. Actually, I do. Tell a lie. Yeah, I attended Graduate Fashion Week. And yeah, so I just wanted to see how fashion stuff works. And I noticed that there's not really a thing for hosting, so I kind of moved away from that. But going back to Culture for Us by Us with Steph, she messaged me and was like, oh, we need to change the name. So the name got changed to Blackpire, which is, I don't know if you guys know, but it's the platform that I work for now. It's the magazine that I work for now, Blackpire magazine, that focuses on music, fashion, entertainment for the Black community. And yeah, so that's all of the back history towards that. So now I'm gonna tell you how I really got into where I am now. I forgot to tell you that I stopped writing for them because I was doing my exams and stuff, so I stopped writing for them for like 6 months. And my cousin Ruby, who is in charge of a marketing agency called VAMP. I'm not sure if you guys heard of them. This is the logo. It's her and her 2 friends. They run a agency called VAMP UK, and they also manage influencers such as Nella Rose, Mary Musa, etc. So Ruby messaged me and was like, oh hey cuz, you know, see you doing journalism or whatever, do you want to come to the Black Panther screening? And I was like, hell yeah, I ain't gonna say no to that. So I went to the Black Panther screening here, and she said I just have to be I have to represent a brand. So that's when I messaged Blackpire, Steph, and said that, can I represent you guys? And she was like, hell yeah. So that's where we rekindled again our relationship. She messaged me again and said that that she has a junket, she has a press junket for the first Purge. Now a press junket just means like the interviews of films and stuff. So she said, do you want to come representing Blackpire? I called Steph up and I was like, I'm gonna represent Blackpire. She goes, hell yeah. So I went to that. I went and watched the film in NBC, I think, is it Universal? Yeah, Universal Studios. Went to go and watch the film, and then I also interviewed Jovan Wade after. That was the really, really big thing for me, doing that. And yeah, that was kind of the end of my thing for VAMP. And obviously I need to also let you know, when you do a press junket, you have to give your email, your number and name to the agency, which was VAMP. And obviously Ruby already has my number and she already has my email. So Ruby already had all of that information. I'm gonna tell you what the reason I'm telling you that is because it's important for the rest of the stuff. So Ruby already had my number, VAMP already had my number and my email and my name because she's my cousin. So that's why she already has my information. Okay, cool. So I did the junket for that, and fast forward, I did some stuff in summer. So during summer, I've looked for other things. I looked for other ways that I can get myself out. And I messaged like this, I can't remember who I messaged, but I messaged this company, and I know they were quite big, but they said to me that I need a showreel. What's a showreel? So I didn't know what a showreel was, so I had to actively go out and research what a showreel was because I didn't know, no one had told me this, and obviously I didn't have any help, so I had to figure all of this stuff out. So I worked out what a showreel is, and it's basically like a 1 to 2 minute video of lots of little clips of stuff you've done. So I had already done stuff for the African stuff, like all of those African events, and I wanted to get some more commercial stuff. So I found this page called Africa X5, and I saw that they did use presenters, like presenting stuff and doing Vox Pops. The name Vox Pops is basically quick 5 questions, usually to strangers. So you know when you see in the streets people asking questions with the microphone and stuff, that's what a Vox Pop is. So I messaged this page called Africa X5, and they had like over 100,000 followers on Instagram, wanting journalists to do Vox Pops with them. So I messaged them and I sent them my new showreel because I made a showreel, and they were like, yeah. So that's when I did this video, which was my 2 to 3 minute Vox Pop video. I ended up on Yanga TV as well. That was the first time I was on TV. I got onto Yanga TV because at the Women for Africa Awards, another award show that I went to, I saw their stall, me and Jas, in my last video, the girl that I was with, me and Jas, we spoke to them, got their card, emailed them and said, listen, we want to be on your TV show, we're presenters. They were like, yeah. We got there, and yeah, we featured, and they treated us very well. Now, let's just say I have a lot of content now, and I've made the showreel, okay? If you are, even if you're African, I think you've probably heard of it, but there's this thing called Ghana Party in the Park, and I was like, I have to be there. Like, I have to do it. So, I found the CEO's number. Listen, my contacts, I don't know, I don't know, but anyway, I got the CEO's number like in an hour. So I got his number, messaged him and said, I want press passes, mate. And he goes, you know, sent him some of my, I sent him my Africa X5 stuff, and he was like, yeah, gonna give you press passes. Did the thing, and a lot of stuff happened at that event, but you know, God is good at whatever. So me and Mark, my videographer at the time, we got it done, and it was really good. And Dennis, who is in charge of Aquaba, loved it. And yeah, I kept in contact with him. You know, I just ask him all the time, how are you, you know, because I know he has a lot of events, so he might need me again. So yeah, we'll move on. So I did Ghana Party in the Park, which is the video here, and I got to interview so many artists. And this is, so now we're in summer because it's Ghana Party in the Park, and I emailed every single festival you could think of. I couldn't do wireless because the passes had already run out, but I emailed every single festival you could think of, and obviously a lot of them said no, because you know, it's like, I'm new, I'm fresh, and it makes sense. But Reading and Leeds Festival did respond to me, and I got passes for Leeds Festival, so I went to that. Here's the picture here, and I, yeah, had fun there. I emailed, when I tell you, I spent about 6 hours looking for the right emails and looking for, yeah, looking for a festival. So I typed in UK festivals, and I went on I opened up each tab for each website, for each festival, and you just literally, I just scroll to the bottom, and there's usually somewhere it says press page. Click on press page, and it usually has an email address. So got the email, and I had an email, a set email, and it was something like, hi, my name's Josephine, and I'm interested in press passes for X event. Here's some of my work, here's my showreel, I'll be representing Blackfire. No, I don't even think I put Blackfire, I just said I'm representing myself, whatever. And a lot of them said no, some of them didn't respond, and obviously some do respond. And yeah, so I got that. I saw that BBC One Extra were doing the show, what's that show called? One Extra Live, they were doing the One Extra Live, and I was like, didn't get a response, emailed again, didn't get a response, and then emailed for the third time, and I got Steph to email as well. We both emailed, and we both got a response. Hickety boo. So I got the response. This is the story of how I got into the BBC's PR list. So I emailed, and we got passes, we got a videographer, and that's when I interviewed Heady One, I interviewed Dottie, and yeah, that was really fun. I really enjoyed myself, got to meet Chance the Rapper as well, but yeah, that was so fun, and obviously I got to talking to the girls. It was 2 girls, and I asked them their name, they asked me my name, they asked where I was from, and I said Blackfire. And yeah, we was just talking, and I was like, oh, what do you guys do? And they were like, oh, we're head of PR for the BBC. And I was like, oh, damn. Wow. And then she was like, oh, give me your Instagram. I gave her my Instagram so fast. Maybe 2 weeks later, I got a message from one of the girls, and she was like, oh, we're launching this new app for BBC. Would you like to come? And I was like, yes, I'd love to come. So I sent her my email, not knowing, obviously, she has to add it to the list for PR. Duh. Sent her my email, and I went to the BBC Sounds. Obviously, I didn't know what the app was, but now I know the app was BBC Sounds. Here's the picture. So I went to the launch of BBC Sounds, because I just was talking to them, and then from there I went to the Luther, I got invited for BBC's Luther, I got invited to, what else have I gone to? A few shows with BBC iPlayer, I got to interview Mimi Misfit, what else have I done? Yeah, so basically anytime BBC have an event, they send the email to everyone on that list, and I'm on the list as well as Blackfire. So yeah, that's how I got added on, just by accident really, and it was because I had emailed 1Extra to go to that show. So if I hadn't emailed, I wouldn't be on the list and I wouldn't be doing stuff with the BBC, do you know what I mean? So my first booking abroad for Amsterdam was CHECHOUT. If you don't know about CHECHOUT, he's a Ghanaian artist and he's like really big in Ghana. So obviously, like I said to you, Aquaba, I did Ghana Party in the Park, and he was really happy with me with the video that I produced for him. So he let me host the London show. He let me host the red carpet for the London show, and I did that with Chanel. So I did that, and then after that he was like, oh, we're doing a tour, a European tour. I was like, wow! So he basically wanted me on the whole tour, as in Amsterdam. I think they went to Belgium, and where else did they go? They went somewhere else as well, I can't remember. But I could only do Amsterdam because I knew I had a junket, which is what I'm going to tell you about. I had another junket, and I also went to Spain. So I only did the Amsterdam one. So I did the Amsterdam one and interviewed Chatawale, and yeah, that was another one. Here's the picture here. I'm not going to show you the video. If you want to see the video, go on my Instagram. So it's just about having good connections. Like I told you, I kept staying in contact with him because I knew something was telling me this man can get me more bookings. So I stayed in contact with him, and I was able to have my first booking abroad with Aquaba. And remember how I told you how Ruby and Vamp had my number? Basically, I don't know how, I still don't know to this day how it happened, but I got a call. So this is how it was. It was about October. This was ages ago, so I never told anyone this. So I got a call. I was in Westfield, Stratford, and I got a call, and they were like, hello, is this Josephine? I was like, yeah. Hi, this is from I was like, okay. Still don't know what it was. And they were like, we're gonna be doing a junket with Michael B. Jordan, and for the new movie Creed 2. I don't know if you've ever watched Creed 1. I've never watched Creed 1, but I was like, yeah, I watched it. Still didn't know what was going on. And they were like, we gave a list of names. We gave a list of outlets in the UK that would be able to cover the junket, and they were quite happy with your interview with Jovan Wade and would like you to sit down with Michael. Sorry, what? Excuse me, what? He's... Michael B. Jordan wants this... He wants to talk to me. So from that point, I thought it was a joke. So they were like, give us your email and CC Blackfire, as in Steph, in it. So I sent the guy my email. I don't know how he got my number to this day. But I feel like they got my number off of Ruby, which was Vamp, because they were the ones who did that junket. That's my thing. So yeah, so they got my email, and I CC'd Blackfire into it, and so Blackfire, us, it was true. And shortly after, before I went to Amsterdam, I did the junket for Michael B. Jordan, and now here's the picture. And yeah, that was the best thing ever. And in regards to the other junkets I've done, the same agency that did that interview with Michael B. Jordan are the same ones that have done Boots Riley for Sorry Not to Bother You, and they also did Captain Marvel and all the other ones that I've done. So I'm quite familiar now. When I go to these junkets, I talk to everyone, like everyone, because like, you don't know who you're talking to, and you don't know what the next opportunity is. I obviously am not limiting myself to Blackfire, and Steph knows this. Like I do my own thing, but I need a platform. Most of these people want a platform to put it on, and so I use Blackfire. Me and Steph have developed Blackfire a lot, Obviously, like, by me introducing her to Vamp, like the agency and stuff. So that's why I have such a good connection. So basically, I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me questions that you would want to know about my presenting career, because it's kind of like my whole career was a bit of a mishmash. I just tried everything. Like, I tried everything, because I know for some people, like someone like Maya Jama, it's taken her like, she started when she was like 16. So it's been over 10 years. So I knew I had to start early, because I started when I was like I started when I was 18. So I didn't want it to be 10 years, because by the time, like, no. So I knew I had to get there quick. So that's why I did a lot of stuff. I'm gonna go through the questions now. Did you get your degree first? No. And if you guys didn't know, I'm still studying. I'm in 2nd year of university, and I'm doing this alongside my degree. I'm studying multimedia journalism with marketing, so sometimes some of the stuff I do, like my lecturer will be like, well damn girl, and like sometimes she even shows it in class, like this video here, she showed her 3rd year's my work, alright? So my university are calm, they're happy with me doing stuff just as long as I get the grades, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I didn't get my degree first, I did it at the same time. Did you do an internship? No, I didn't think to even do an internship, because I wouldn't even know where to do the internship. And on top of that, because I was studying in university, I wouldn't have time. Well, how did you start, and what were your first steps? So I think I kind of explained that, and I basically found a niche and stuck with that for a bit to get content. Can I just say, like, the first 5, 6, I'll probably say the first 3 months I wasn't getting paid. Let's just make that clear. I didn't ask for any kind of payment, I didn't ask for any kind of transport, nothing. Biggest challenge? It is, if you do it like me, it can be very exhausting, because it's like you have uni, you have the presenting, and then you have money. So if I don't get a job, it means my career's doing better, I'm doing good in uni, but I don't have any money. To kind of balance all three, that was kind of the hardest challenge. And I think the biggest mistake people make, I don't know if this is a question, I think it is, but I think the biggest mistake people make is that they're not in it for the right reasons, they're in it for the money. Do you know what I mean? They crave the money, they want the money, so they're just doing the wrong path. I think the reason why I've got to where I am is because money is never the first thing in my head. Anytime I get a booking, money's not the first thing in my head. I'm just happy that I got the booking, do you know what I mean? What were some obstacles you had to overcome? I think some of the obstacles I had to overcome was just, like, probably telling myself that I'm actually quite good at it, because I kept thinking like, oh my god, I'm so rubbish, and I was calling myself an up-and-coming presenter up until like, I'll probably say like 7 months ago. I was calling myself an up-and-coming because in my head I was up-and-coming, but I went to an event and this girl was like, oh, what you doing? I was like, I'm an up-and-coming presenter. And mind you, I was on the red carpet, like I was presenting on the red carpet, like I was actually doing it. And I called myself an up-and-coming presenter, and she's like, why are you calling yourself an up-and-coming presenter when you're presenting? And I was like, you know what, girl, I'm gonna just this way. What challenges have you personally faced as a black girl in the presenting industry? This is not commercially, but when I first started presenting, I only knew light-skinned presenters. I didn't know any dark-skinned presenters. Now I know dark-skinned presenters, but at the time I didn't know any light-skinned presenters. So I felt like if I emailed someone and said that I wanted to be their red carpet host and they said no, that they already had one, it was always a light-skinned girl, and it just pissed me off. I was like, you know, one time they booked this girl to be a presenter for the to host it, and she's not even that good. It's not even that she's not a presenter. She's not a presenter. It's just because the girl's pretty and she's light skinned. That thing vexes me. I ain't throwing no shade or nothing, but like, if you are familiar with a certain chat show, yeah, they did a recent abroad thing, yeah. I ain't saying the name, yeah, but if you put two and two together, you know what I'm talking about. It's a chat show. Well, it's not a chat show, but it's kind of like a reality TV kind of thing. And they went abroad recently, and they put a host on there. The host is light skinned, yeah. And you lot just tell me if you think the presenter's good, because I think the girl is dead. Not as in looks wise, she's very pretty, very beautiful girl, but presenting wise, I just was bored. I wasn't interested, and I think, to be honest, the cast could have done it themselves. But anyway, describe yourself in 3 words. I think I'm a little bit of a joker. I'm cute, and what else? Elegantly. Joker, cute, and elegantly. What motivates you to do what you do so consistently? What motivates me is because I know I'm a very motivated person in general. I know where I want to be, and I look up to people, other presenters that are doing very well, like Tania Taylor, Yasmin Evans, Maya Jama, you know, Reese Parkinson. And you know, when I go to these events and they're all there in the same room as me, I'm like, wow, all these celebs, in my head they're celebs, all these celeb presenters are in the same room as me. That just motivates me to want to do better, because I want to keep coming to these events, I want to keep presenting, I want to keep mingling, and I love what I do. I love asking people questions, do you know what I mean? I like chin-wagging with people. I love talking to them, you know what I mean? Who is your biggest supporter? Listen, my biggest supporter is my family. Are you dumb? Presenting is a lot of work. Presenting is a lot of independent work. Does that faze you? Sometimes it can get a little bit lonely, because it's like sometimes you'll go somewhere and like you just have to like sometimes you just like you'll have like a day and you'll have 3 different presenting gigs, and then you have to go somewhere and go here. You spend a lot of time on your own, because if you're going in between bookings, you're like have to have lunch on your own, and you have to have coffees on your own, and you have to go through your scripts on your own, and it's like, it's a lot of independent work. And you get there, you just, as a presenter, you have to know how to be friends with everyone, because when you get on set, the camera guy, the lighting guy, the script guy, you're not going to know any of them, so you just have to mingle. Yeah. Would you be willing to mentor someone or guide someone into presenting? So I don't like calling it mentoring, because it sounds like I know what I'm doing, and I'm still new to this, just as well. I'm still new to this, you know what I'm saying? So I would be willing, it's not that I'm not willing, but I don't like calling it mentoring. So I had 2 girls recently. I did the fashion focus. I did an event, I hosted an event for UCL. Yeah. Was it UCL? Yeah, London College of Fashion, UCL. I had 2 girls in my DMs. They were at the time, they were the most recent ones. And they basically said they wanted to follow me around and stuff. And obviously I said, yeah, like I let them follow me around. And they came to the event with me. They saw how like things are run, how I go through my questions, you know, talking to the team and whatever. So they followed me around for that event. And then after the event, I spent about 20 to 30 minutes having an in-depth conversation about what they wanted to know, how they wanted to get into things. I gave them numbers, I gave them Instagrams, I gave them names, I gave them emails, I gave them contact details of how to get into presenting. So if you actually want to follow me around or meet me, I am more than happy to meet you. How do you form your questions? Okay, so how I first formed my questions was that I had a bank. I was doing a lot of red carpets. Now the thing that works with red carpets, it looks like it's very organized, very calm, you know, very it's not. It's a mess. It's a poo show. right? Red carpets are a big poo show. You get celebrities coming left, right, centre, and the thing about red carpets is they could tell you that you're going to do 5 people, which are these names. You could end up doing none of them, end up doing more, you know what I mean? So in my head, when I first did red carpets, I started to realise that I don't know everyone on these red carpets. So I don't know the questions now, but let's say I'm talking to someone and I'll start off and be like, hi, how are you? You know, and then they'll be like, yeah, I'm good. How's things? You've had quite a busy year. What do you think your best project has been? You know? From that point, I don't even know who you are. But if you tell me, they might answer and be like, oh, you know, when I directed, I don't know, Get Out, you know, it was probably the best project I've done so far. I really enjoyed directing. I really enjoyed. From that point, I know you're a director. In regards to films, like, if you know me, I'm a film girl. Okay, I love films. Films are me. I am films. You know. So films are where my heart is. I love films. So in regards to the film, when I do the interviews, they make you watch the film before the film's out. So based off the film, I'll ask questions. So I don't know, I just ask questions that I feel like everyone would want to know. Like, I saw a tweet on Twitter about how, so basically it was like, you know, the shade room or the shame whatever, it had that little football thing, and it was like a thing saying Winston Duke went to school with Lupita, like went to drama school with Lupita, and I was like, is this true? So me being me, I asked him, I said, listen, word on the street is you went to drama school with Lupita, is that true? And he told me it's true. There we are. It's just anything you'd want to know. Basically, I have these questions left. I feel like I'm going to ask them in another question, in another Q&A. I'll screenshot them and save them, and I'll do it for another Q&A because this video is way too long. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe already, please, because I've been on YouTube way too long to not have 1,000 subscribers now. Yeah, subscribe. If you have any other questions in regards to presenting, then drop me an email, or you can message me on Instagram. I reply just as fast on email than I do on Instagram. Like, yeah.